one mic.
All I need is one mic.
It's just different.
One mic with Big Mike.
The overall tenor of what he's saying is very stupid.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
Maybe it's not racism. Maybe it's placism.
Brother has to know his place, right, Bob?
One mic with Big Mike.
Things aren't always what they seem.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limit.
Don't just tell me that the reason something's being done is because that's the way it's always been done. Because the first thing I'm going to say to you is slavery.
And now, your host.
I got the big homie here who needs no introduction.
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
Oops. Wrong button. What's good, y'all? Welcome into the One Mic with Big Mike show here on a Monday. Appreciate you guys joining me right here on Spreaker.com. I'm also on the Spreaker app. That's like speaker, everybody, with an R in between the P and the E. SPREAKER.com. Also the Spreaker app on all your mobile devices, whatever format you may be using. I'm also live on TuneIn right now, if you got that app. And, of course, my website, onemicwithbigmike.com. If you don't get a chance to stick around for the entire show, it should be a pretty decent one, too. You know, just slightly above average tonight. If you don't get a chance to stick around for the entire thing, always go back and catch them on demand on all 4 outlets I've already mentioned, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and, of course, YouTube, where you can catch the on-demand version of the live stream that's going on right now on Facebook. My Facebook page being facebook.com/1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. Use that handle for my Twitter and my Instagram as well. If you guys want to be a part of the show, make sure you guys hit me up via text at 404-902-8104. You can also jump inside my live and interactive chat room if you're listening via Spreaker, or if you're listening via my website, onemicwithbigmike.com. You'll see a little thought bubble icon sitting right there on the streaming player. Just click on that joint. A couple steps later, you'll be inside the building. You can also, if you're watching, one of those people who like to watch, you can leave your comments right below the streaming video here on Facebook. What else do I need to mention? Make sure you guys are subscribing as well. First of all, sign up for your free Spreaker accounts. Follow me on Spreaker, One Mic with Big Mike. That way you get an alert each and every time the joint goes live. Every time my show goes live, you get an alert telling you it's time to rock and roll. Also, subscribe to my iTunes. Follow me or like iHeartRadio and Stitcher. Subscribe to my Google Play Music. All that stuff. All right? All right. So, I told you the show is going to be, maybe a tad bit better than average. Tonight at 7:30, as we do each and every Monday, it's Troupe Talk with the homie Ben Troupe. That badass Florida squad, man. They won the SEC East, whatever the hell that means. They won, and from what I saw on social media, he seems to be very happy about it. The coach, Jim McElwain, got extra, and I do mean extra, emotional about it. So we'll talk to him about that, as well as, you know how we do each and every week here for Troupe Talk. We just kick it and talk about some ball. Speaking about ball, we got another baller, top of the hour. Friend of the show, friend of the Sports King show back in the day, the homie Cato June, Super Bowl champ, all-pro linebacker for the Colts, the Bucks most notably, Michigan standout, now coaching up at HBCU Howard. Is it Bison or Bison? Because, North Dakota State says they're the Bison, but that's a white school. So I'm almost tempted to believe that the black school would say Bison. The same way we say McDonald's and Miss Winners. It don't have to be right. It just got to be black. So I'm assuming it's going to be Bison. I'll ask him about that. So anyway, he's going to join us at 8. We had a gang of stuff going on in college football this past weekend. Not the same as it was 2 weeks ago with all the upsets, but some things that kind of help shape the college football playoff picture a little bit more, and it's going to get shaped more this coming week. Well, it's going to get completely shaped, I think, this coming week, because I don't think, well, let me not say that. Let me not say that. I'm jumping the gun and I don't do predictions. So anyway, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what happened in the NFL yesterday. Apparently, no one can kick freaking extra points anymore, so that's the thing, and we'll try to figure out what the hell's going on. Nah, we ain't going to try to figure out what's going on with it. We just know it's bad. At the bottom of the next hour, we'll take a look back. Got 2 guests today, so we got to push on this day all the way back to the bottom of the next hour, where I give you guys some factual, historical tidbits in the world of sports to kind of, educate you a little bit, so that it's not 100% ignorance on the show. It's like 97% ignorance from me, then I give you 3% from on this day, and then the guests, they get to bring whatever they want to bring, whatever percentage they want to bring to the table. I'll give you guys the basketball schedule for the day. We got some Monday Night Football tonight. Excuse me. Got a frog in my throat. But what I wanted to start off with today is the impending firing of one Charlie Strong. Now, this is something that I've been talking about. Not only me. Plenty of people have been talking about this for some time now in the season. They came out the gate pretty strong and gave Notre Dame, which you thought was going to be a decent squad, gave Notre Dame the business, and everybody was like, oh, my God, Charlie Strong's finally turned it around over at Texas. Not so much. As the season went on, the same movie that we saw last year and the way they lost games, it just kind of culminated, man. It just kind of culminated this past week with this Kansas loss, man. And, that's not one of them things that help you, help you keep your gig. When you lose to a team that you ain't lost to since 1938 or something like that, ain't a good look at all for the kid. But the reason that it's content for my show tonight is because there's some meat on this bone, and there's some racial things, not racist, but racial things that kind of need to be explored a little bit. So I wanna do that. Let me do this real quick. Let me click a couple buttons here. Just bear with me. All right. There's this article. There's two articles. What's the name of that damn website that dude who's on Trump's advisor, the racist website? I just ran into an article on that site about Charlie Strong, and it's like, I don't know. But let's talk about. All right, let's go with the undefeated first, right? Undefeated, if you guys don't know, that's kind of ESPN's Grantland for black folks. Is the way it was described a while ago when Jason Whitlock was heading up. So this cat named Jesse Washington, he wrote a piece for the Undefeated on Charlie Strong, and not just Charlie Strong, but just what he kind of represents, man. And it was kind of, I saw him on TV today, and I went to go find his article because I wanted to get all the information for you guys. I talked about the fast start against Notre Dame, but then, subsequently the defense gave up like 99 points in 2 games. And this is a defensive coach. Like, Charlie Strong made his money being a defensive coordinator at Florida, a defensive coach at Florida, a defensive coordinator under Lou Holtz at South Carolina. So this is where he's kind of made his bread. And we all know during the season he took back the play calling duties from his man, and things seem to have gotten worse. But this article mentions this one thing also, that Charlie Strong was passed over for job after job, and he had a better resume than a lot of people. Even when Coach Screamy Face, the dude that's in South Carolina now, whatever the hell his name is, when he got the job, it was a big deal because people thought that Charlie Strong, having those Florida roots and all that kind of stuff, would have been a better candidate. As we all see, it didn't turn out that way. Homeboy got fired, hired by Auburn next year, back in the SEC at South Carolina, and you see what that squad was able to produce this year. That whole East was, whatever. Now, he was 6-7 in his first season, Charlie Strong, but his starting quarterback never did play a game because he had concussion, so people kind of gave him a mulligan on that. But then he went 5-7, and now we're sitting at 5-5. For what it's worth, you look at those things and you say, well, I mean, you're not winning games. You're not winning games at Texas with all the recruits and with all the resources and all this kind of stuff. You're not winning games. So in the world of college football, those are fireable offenses. It's a fireable offense. And I already mentioned the Kansas situation, right? Kansas ain't won a game in 23 games, and the one game they win is the lead dog, was supposed to be the lead dog in Texas college football. You don't really keep your gig after that. He knows it. They know it. For whatever reason, they won't say it, though. For whatever reason, Charlie Strong's still up at a podium today talking about how well, we're going to keep going and fighting and I want to be here. It's like, hold on. They ain't tell you what everybody else know? Bruh, you dead man walking. You done. But for whatever reason, man, they hadn't told this dude. And it doesn't behoove him to be the Negro in this situation. And you know what I'm talking about. Like, your boss at your career, at your job right now, tell you or everybody around you know that you're going to get fired. And ain't nobody said nothing. You already know you're going to be stealing from the job. You're going to be acting up. You're going to be doing the work. You're going to be watching, like, your DVR, your Comcast on demand or whatever on the company computer. You're going to be doing all that kind of stuff. You know why? Because you don't have $10 million coming to you if you just play ball. If you just kind of, chill out, be easy. You ain't got 10 mil. Charlie Strong got $10.7 million coming to him to be that guy. To just be that damn guy that ain't going to act up, that ain't going to tell these folks, see these two middle fingers? Yeah, up yours with them, cuz he can't really be that dude to do that. And I know the Negro in him probably wants to. That dude is like 50-something years old, too. Like, that dude, like, what did that say about me? I mean, I don't think I look old, but me and him look like the same age. Anyway, what up, I Am No Dose? He's in the chat room. I don't know where Renee at. Renee might have divorced me today. No, you know what? I Am No Dose. Just kind of like on some sneak stuff happened the other day where we all found out, like, Renee got a dude now. So, you know what I mean? If you don't see a lot of her up in this joint, you know why. You know what I mean? Like the other night, we doing the show, and she talking about cooking dinner for somebody, or cooking, right? Then I guess Big L said something to Renee about doing the mom thing, which is what I thought was happening. She hollers, nah, that's my dude. Wait, hold on. Where'd that come from? I've been left in the dark. So, yeah, I Am No Dose. Don't worry about it. Yeah, see? Yeah, dude, just out the blue. This just comes out. Yeah, so just in case you hollering hi, Renee, and you don't get no response, it might be some bed springs. Bam, chicken. Anyway, I'm supposed to be talking about Charlie freaking Strong, not Renee getting banged out by some. Well, if you got time, we'll talk about this later. We'll get into this, who this dude is later. Make sure I approve of this arrangement that's going on here. And then this guy, God, I hate doing that. Jesse Washington, he breaks down some numbers for us, so we understand what in the hell a black coach is facing, man. This is the reason that I wanted to have Cato June on. He was gracious enough to accept the invitation to come on the show tonight because he's an up-and-coming black coach. When I first talked to Cato June with the Sports Kings, Cato June was coaching high school football. So you hear about an ex-player coaching high school football, you feel like it's just a dude giving back to the community, want to, do his thing and help the kids out and everything. But now Cato June's coaching college football. So what it looks like to me, and I don't know this, I'll ask him about it, but it looks like to me a guy who has actual aspirations in the field. So my question is going to be to him, like, when you see this kind of stuff with Charlie Strong, man, like what kind of emotion does it give you, knowing that, okay, he didn't do the job well, but Charlie Strong's a dude that was pretty much fired the moment he got hired, man. Like, once these boosters start talking about how, hiring this dude is like a kick in the face, he's more of a coordinator. He even went to a position, this dude, Tex something. I don't know if his name is Tex. I don't think it's Tex. It just sounds like that would be the name of a Texas booster. Some big dude with a belt buckle and a big 10-gallon hat named Tex. It's something like that. It's somewhere here in my notes. Now I'll give it to you guys in just a second. So anyway, there's 12 now, right? 12 after Charlie Strong. 12 black coaches out of 128 FBS coaches right now. There's one Latino, 2 are Asian American or Pacific Islander, and 112 are white. The numbers vary with the percentage of black kids playing college football. It's somewhere between 54 and 58%, though. 40%, 41% white, 3% Asian American or Pacific Islander, and 2% Latino. So with those numbers, you would think that if kids are coming through the programs as players, and as we all know, not all of them end up playing professional football, but a lot of them apparently love football, you would think they might want to coach the game of football. I don't know if you guys saw this. Marcus Lattimore just got Marcus Lattimore, the kid from South Carolina that had the horrendous leg injury, he just got a head coaching job. He had to finish school first, get his degree. So he got his degree and he's got a head coaching job. And I think it's at a high school in South Carolina somewhere. I'm not sure. I skimmed the article. I didn't necessarily dive into it and read it, but I saw it and I was like, salute to the homie, picking up, the second chapter of his football career a lot sooner than a lot of people thought he would have or should have. But, things happen, man, and life comes at you quick. And he hurt his leg, broke his leg all up, playing for free. So there's that. The current head coaches that you guys probably know about, the big name head coaches, of course, Kevin Sumlin's out there in Texas. David Shaw is at Stanford. You guys know James Franklin. He's over at Penn State. Derek Mason, he's in the SEC at Vanderbilt. Lovey's at Illinois. So those are a couple of the bigger name guys. But I did a show a while ago. I don't remember exactly when, but it was about this. It was about where does the pipeline come from? Where are these black head coaches at the college level? Because of course they don't have what the NFL has, a Rooney Rule, which I think now the Rooney Rule has become kind of a joke. You know what I mean? Like cats have figured out a way to circumvent it, having coaches in waiting and things of that nature. So I think that needs a retooling, but the world of college football has none of that. So the status quo is what it is. You got boosters, right? You got ADs, you got alumni and all these people at these big-time schools, and guess what color most of them are? And guess what color most of them see their head coaches are as? Because the head coach, this article does a good job of pointing this out. The head coach in college football is usually the face of the franchise, whereas in the NFL, people try to draft the face of their franchise. So out there in Charlotte, Cam Newton, right? Cam Newton's the face of that franchise, Black Cat. You know what I mean? Russell Wilson up in Seattle, face of the franchise. That ain't how it work in college. The face of Alabama is freaking Nick Saban. The face for the last 3 years of Texas has been Charlie Strong. And you can probably understand how, there's a certain group of people in that neck of the woods that's like, that don't work. That ain't how we do it around these parts. Especially when he's not winning. Ain't no patience for that at all. I already talked about how, my man was passed over and he got all these different credentials and all these things, but then he got the gig at Louisville, killed it at Louisville. Him, Teddy Bridgewater, killed it at Louisville. And then the Texas job came open. Like, what you supposed to do? Like, you've been waiting to get a big-time college football job. And I think at that time, Louisville wasn't in the ACC. They were in the AAC. So this is a major step up. We're talking $5 million a year. We're talking Texas resources. We're talking all this, but the thing that we're not talking about, Charlie Strong being this rough and tough defensive coach coming into the Big 12 where they don't do nothing but score 90 points between each team, between both teams every game. It seems like the fit don't work, right? But if you're that dude, if you're this black coach, how do you say no? You know what I mean? Like, how do you with good conscience say no and go back to Louisville? Because this ain't basketball. Like in basketball, if you Shaka Smart can be like, nah, I'm good at VCU. I'm good at VCU. Oh, Texas, I'm going to holler at your VCU. Yeah. You can do that because it's basketball, and basketball has shown itself to be a lot more progressive. John Thompson and his son and, what's my man's name that was going to beat up, what's my man's name from Temple? Don Chaney. Like there's a bunch of black coaches in college basketball, but college football, as I just read you the numbers, it don't really show up that way. Red is his name. See, I was close. Tex, Red, whatever. Red McCombs is the booster that I was talking about. This is the One Mic with Big Mike show. Heard right here now on Spreaker every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 o'clock. Also on the Spreaker app. Tune in as well as my website, onemicwithbigmike.com. Make sure you guys are following me on Twitter and Instagram at One Mic with Big Mike. I'm also streaming live video on my Facebook page, which is also at One Mic with Big Mike. Maybe if I had some time today, I'll tell you guys how I got kicked out of another group today. Another Facebook group. So yeah, I mentioned him at Louisville, right? 11-2, 12-1 in the last 2 seasons there. Beat Florida in the Sugar Bowl. Beat the crap out of Miami in the Citrus Bowl. I'm glad. You know what? I am no those in my chat room. I'm glad you mentioned Ty Willingham because I'm gonna talk about him as well as soon as we get through this situation, because Ty Willingham is an interesting case, and the case of Ty Willingham kind of mirrors a little bit in Tony Dungy. Because like, look at Ty Willingham. Ty Willingham head coached at Stanford, Notre Dame, and Washington. Like, you show me the other black coach that's gotten not only 2 runs, 3 runs in big time college football. And there is a point to that. You know what I mean? And I will move on. Since I am no those brought it up, I'll bring it up now. Like, people say Ty Willingham, this article that I was talking about earlier from what's this damn site called? Breitbart. That's the site that racist site, right? That dude that's working for Donald Trump, Breitbart, right? They talk about Ty Willingham. They talk about his record in this article. And if I can find it real quick for you guys. Okay. Willingham served as the first black head coach in history of the University of Notre Dame at any sport, right? He coached the Washington Huskies, to 11 wins in over 4 years. That's not very good. And the article points out, or makes the point, that maybe he's not a good coach. Maybe. But I'll say this as well. There's no way that any white coach, and I don't know every part of Ty Willingham's story, but I know that no white coach has to deal with the same things that a black coach has to deal with. One of the things that Tony Dungy said, and I'm going to talk to Cato June about this, because he played for Coach Dungy. And Coach Dungy said the pressure was on him to do well, because there was a feeling as though if I don't do well, it's going to hurt the people that look like me, that are going to come behind me and want to do this. And I remember, I think this story was in the $40 Million Slave, talking about Coach Eddie Robinson, legendary coach, since deceased now, from the University of Grambling, when his quarterback, I think he had the first black quarterback in the NFL. But there's a story about him not wanting to go. Like, it was time to go to camp. He was like, I ain't going. And Eddie Robinson told him, you got to go. You have to. Because if you don't go, it will give white people an excuse to not let anyone else that looks like you do this job. So with that being said, and just saying that, Ty Willingham can't coach, maybe he can't, but is he being judged on the same coaching meter as his white predecessors? These guys who know how to play the game. I would argue that as a black man, Charlie Strong to be exact, showing up at the University of Texas, where already, like I mentioned, Red McCombs was like, whatever, man. Hiring this dude is like a kick in the face to me. That being said, now, he's got to learn to play the game. Like, he's doing on-the-job training. And while he's there doing this on-the-job training, he's being judged at every turn. Like, this dude came in and pulled a boss move. He, got rid of, 10 players. 2 cats was accused of sexual assault. A bunch of starters. Got rid of them. Cats didn't want to go to class. This dude was trying to make a culture shift at a place where they only care about football. And they've proven it. A place like Baylor. Look how long stuff was able to go on at Baylor. Cats gang raping broads, chicks reporting dudes, and then the athletic department covering it up. Charlie Strong was trying to not have that at his place, but in not having that, there was a certain sacrifice of wins, or the wins got sacrificed as well. And the part of the problem, or the thing that I'll say, probably doesn't exist if you're a black coach at Texas, patience. Patience don't exist. And now here we are 3 years later, not even. Charlie Strong is fired. You know what I mean? Charlie Strong has been fired for a long time now. I mentioned when I started talking about this, like Charlie Strong to me was fired as he was being hired. It was going to be a lose. I mean, if he didn't bring a championship to the University of Texas, it wasn't going to happen because no one cares about the process if they don't want you anyway. Like, there's no way of explaining to someone, well, this is what we're trying to do, and this is what we're trying. This is the plan that we've got set before us right now. It's going to take a minute to implement it and get it going right, but once it's going, it's going to be good. Ain't nobody got time for that if they don't want you in the first place. All it sounds like is wah, 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 wah. No one cares. And now you're seeing what's happening. Especially, and then now, this dude was like the perfect storm of everything stupid that could have happened. Tom Herman, the guy who initially was like the hot thing to replace Charlie Strong at the beginning of the season. Then it kind of died off a little bit because Charlie won a couple games. Then Tom Herman comes back last Thursday or Friday? Last week. And beats the brakes off of that Louisville squad. Got all his guys healthy. They went out there and showed what we thought they were at the beginning of the season. In the midst of that, Charlie Strong loses to Kansas in overtime, in an overtime field goal. It couldn't have happened in any worse of a way. Like, the dude that was hot is hot again. The dude that kind of got a little lukewarm is ice cold again. They talking about in real talk, man. They talking about Charlie Weis not ever getting another head coaching job again. And like, I can't say that Charlie Strong has shown me anything. Like Charlie Strong is like the Mike Singletary of college. Charlie Strong isn't Mike Singletary because Charlie Strong had success as a head coach in college. So the parallel I'm making is that these are guys who you might want to root for, but like Mike Singletary not being a head coach again, it don't bother me at all. You know what I mean? I saw what I saw in San Francisco, and it was like, dude, you're not coaching high school kids. These are grown men. Like him pulling down his pants in the locker room and sending the homie to the locker room, Vern Davis and all that. And by the way, Vern Davis to this day says he appreciated that. But it's just like a bad look because the odds of any other player appreciating it is very slim. Now, see, here's where that's kind of not the thing, though. And I am no those in my chat room. He says Bobby Petrino is the epitome of white privilege. Kind of, but not really, because Bobby Petrino, like that dude, Will Muschamp is who I was thinking of. Like Will Muschamp, probably more so than anything, because he ain't done nothing. At the very least, like people here in Atlanta hate Bobby Petrino because of how he left. Well, here's the thing: Bobby Petrino was promised Mike Vick, not Joey Harrington. I would have left too, not in the way he did, but I would have left too. The thing at Arkansas, I'm not a moralist. So what? Bobby Petrino had a side broad, and he lied about her. Yeah, so does the dude that sits in the cubicle next to you at your crib. I mean, at your job. But the one thing that I don't think anybody who watches football can deny is that Bobby Petrino can coach. Like, the proof is definitely in that pudding. He ain't a dude that, like, go places and lose. He go places and get it done. And all that does is put the onus on the ADs, the presidents, and the boosters, like, okay, we know who we dealing with. Because Louisville, this their second time around with this dude. You know what I mean? They loved it so good the first time. They was like, all right, Bobby, come on back. We know everybody else hates you, but come on back and mess with us some more. You know why? Because Bobby Petrino win games. And at the end of the day, all that student athlete, and we're about the athlete and the sanctity of it, they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn about all that. They trying to get them stadiums filled. They trying to get that TV money. You understand? They're trying to get like Heisman trophies and all this recognition to their program based on their football program. No one cares about none of that other stuff. Him having a side broad and crashing his damn motorcycle. No one cares. So, like, that's why I don't really think Bobby Petrino is necessarily white privilege. It's just easy to look past, his transgressions, and probably easier to look past him because he's white. You know what I mean? Okay. Yeah. This is second round with Louisville. They went back for seconds like a scorned broad. We're going to take a break, man. Got Troupe Talk coming up next. Ben Troupe. So we'll continue a little bit of this conversation with Ben Troupe because I know he got some stuff to say. He played Charlie Strong coached at Florida while he was there on the defensive side of the football. I want to ask him about Jeff Fisher. I want to ask him about that Florida squad and why they are so happy. They're about to get into a bloodbath at the Georgia Dome with Alabama. It's about to be over like in the first quarter. And Cass is happy? I guess so. Nobody wants to believe their child is dumb, I guess, right? Anyway, it is the One Mic with Big Mike show here on Spreaker.com. I'm also on the Spreaker app. Tune in. And, of course, the website, onemicwithbigmike.com. Take this number down, 404-902-8104. That's the number you can text to get involved with the show, or you can jump inside my live interactive chat room or leave your comments below the live streaming video on my Facebook page, which is at the number 1 MIC, WITHBIGMIKE. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
My name is Dale Pazinski. I'm 19 years old, and this is how I live united. I've always been kind of a computer geek, and I found a way to use those skills to help the homeless in my community. For people facing hard times, computer skills and a basic resume are so important. It may seem like a small thing, but it makes a huge difference in people's lives. So with United Way, I created a program where I work with the homeless. Together, we go through their whole job history, write a resume, and then save it on their very own USB drive. We provide workbooks and training certificates. I even budgeted for cupcakes so we can celebrate as a class when one of our people gets a job. That's huge. When somebody says, "Hey man, that job that you helped me apply for, I got it." That's what living united feels like to me. My name is Dale Pazinski. I help people achieve financial independence. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
And now, back to One Mic.
What are we waiting for? Let's get to it.
With Big Mike.
Hey. Monday. Hope you guys had a good one. Mine was okay, other than the fact that Renee was out here slave driving the pimp, but it's all good. I'm here, man. One Mic with Big Mike, right here on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. Also, you can listen live on TuneIn, and of course, my website, onemicwithbigmike.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, as well as on Facebook at One Mic with Big Mike. I'm also streaming live video right now on the Facebook page if you guys want to partake in that situation. Make sure you like the page as well. Like my page and all those good things. It is Monday. Y'all know what that means, man. We get to talk some ball with the big homie, former Gator tight end, former NFL tight end. He's Ben Troupe, and this is called Troupe Talk.
It's time for Troupe Talk.
What you talking about?
We're talking NFL and college football with former NFL and SEC tight end Ben Troupe.
Ben Troupe at the 15, at the 10, hurdles a man, spins to the 5. Oh my! Still on his feet, still pounding to the goal line. He's gonna score! He's gonna score!
Troupe Talk. Troupe Talk.
We heading to the top if you come and come on.
On One Mic with Big Mike.
Yep, there it is. Ben. Ben. What's good, man?
Listen, man. I'm great as always.
I know.
Looking forward to the day, though. I'm looking forward to the day, though. I really am.
Look, dude, I'm watching my man on Facebook, man. Make sure you on Facebook. Make sure you follow Ben at BenTroupe. And I'm like, man, Ben is like mad excited about this bloodbath that's gonna happen in the Georgia Dome. Now, the Florida Gators, they went down to Baton Rouge and got them one. A game that was supposed to be in Florida a couple of months ago because of Hurricane Matthew. They had to move it or whatnot. All the Florida people was all mad and pissed off because they had to play this conference game late in the season when most people, Alabama's playing Chattanooga or whoever, and Florida pulled it out. But Ben, man, like, your man was like real emotional. Like, why, man? Like, you're an alum, and it seemed like you were emotional too. What's all the? It's the East, man. It's like being the smartest kid on the short bus.
You know what it is, man. I think bigger than you have to play within the conference. The size of the conference that you're in.
Yeah.
And the East was definitely down this year. I mean, whenever taking nothing away from Kentucky, they ain't got no business being nowhere near the top.
Right.
They just happen to be second right now, and the Tennessee was able to get over the levee. Finally end the streak, but they weren't able to make it to Atlanta. But the thing was, it's how if you realize, man, Florida, we have to do what we do. Minus bad quarterback play.
Oh,
I mean, I
God.
take nothing away from Austin Appleby. He's been able to play solid, a couple of weeks. But if we just had a solid QB, I only want to know to go with that defense because I feel it's like we like the Indianapolis Colts back in the day, but it's backwards. Our defense is our elite side, and our offense is our Achilles heel. And so for us to get the win, it's the way in which we won. We had the scuffle before the game, Leonard Fournette pushing the assistant coach, and all the trash talking that was going on, which the trash talking is going to happen. But don't start saying things like a one team is scared to play. No, we play LSU every year.
Right.
It ain't like other SEC West teams. This year might not play them next year, but I just like the fact that it was first and goal, and then they showed a bunch of Tennessee fans on their cell phones like, "Oh, we about to go to Atlanta." I'm like, nah. Cause see, and like I say, I don't know if that's a gift or not. Because I mean, one thing about it, Alabama is Alabama, and we're gonna have to play an incredible game. But if you realize last year, though, Mike, it was very competitive last year in the championship game. They won, but it was very competitive. It got away in the end. I mean, Derrick Henry, he get to land on you too much, man. It get a little rough. But Coach Mack, man, 2 years, 2 SEC East crowns, going to the championship. That's all you can ask for at the end of the day. Because, like I say, we had Treon Harris last year. So I'm just saying. I mean,
did your man screw himself though? Did Coach O screw himself with this loss? I mean, it was a very winnable game. Like, did you see that thing that I tagged you in where they broke down that final play?
I don't think he was going to be that guy regardless.
No?
Only because no, I don't. But he gave himself a chance.
Mm-hmm.
But see, what hurts the coach the most is when you lose games, you're supposed to win in this dramatic fashion. It's how you lost. It's not that you lost. It's how you lost. Yeah. You got two studs at the running back position, and I'm talking about it's first and goal on the 1 yard line. Meaning, if somebody would have said LSU can't get a yard, this is the same LSU team that only gave up 10 points to Alabama. They only gave up 10 to them. So, yeah, I just think that with so many big names out there, man, Coach O, he had to definitely win this one with all the hype going into it. But the way in which you lost, that's gonna sting. And I was happy that we got the win. But Coach O, man, he did a good job. But I mean, he's gonna be settled into a coordinator position for a long time because of this.
Let's talk about the way you lost. Let's talk about the way one of those coaching prospects you're talking about won. Last week, what was that, Thursday or Friday? It was Thursday, right? The Louisville situation with Houston.
Man.
Your man Tom Herman, this is what I didn't realize till I heard him on the radio say this, that was the first time in 2 months since the beginning of the season that he had everyone on his team healthy. And we got to see what that Houston squad looks like healthy, my man. And with all that surrounding him, he went kind of hot, then he got kind of cold, while Charlie Strong got kind of warm. Now Charlie Strong is bone cold, and he seems to be hot again. Yeah. First, let me ask you about the Heisman thing. Is there a clear second, at least now, in the Heisman race? We're hearing Baker Mayfield. We're hearing my man Peppers has a chance of doing something.
Yeah, I think Baker Mayfield is definitely two. Even though Louisville lost, Jackson had put himself so far away from the competition already. I mean, even if you want to just break down, passing stats, he's far ahead. You don't even want to get into the rushing yards and the rushing touchdowns. But what he brings, I think the Heisman Trophy winner is what he brings to his team. And if you take Lamar Jackson off, Louisville ain't even worth watching. I mean, let's face it. We watch Louisville to see what Jackson's going to do week in and week out. Take nothing away from Houston, though. They was able to definitely, show some weakness of him because he's not big. When you look at him, he's very, 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 very thin, man, like very slender.
It's only like 200
and
pounds.
They just took advantage of that. But hey, man, Coach Herman, listen. Obviously, everybody knows that Coach Strong was going to be out, and Herman is the guy. One thing about Texas, they want to keep it in-state thing. It don't have to be somebody coming from within the organization or within the program, but they want to be able to compete with the state of Texas as far as recruiting. So Herman definitely helped himself out, man. National stage, man. Thursday night, because let's face it, if you got to pick between Thursday night football and NFL and college, I would go with college.
Please
if you want quality football.
Please believe
so,
that.
Yeah, they definitely drive a seat. Yeah.
Talking right now with my man Ben Troupe. We do it every Monday. We call it Troupe Talk. He is a former Gator. Well, I guess once a Gator, always a Gator. Also a second-round pick of the Titans in 04. Make sure you guys are following him on Twitter and Instagram at BenTroupe84. Now let's talk about Coach Strong. You know, that's your man. Let's talk about it in a couple of different aspects, though, because, you know, the loss to Kansas didn't do him no favors. The one thing he said in that press conference, Ben, that immediately said, I got to ask Ben about this. He talked about the pressure that those kids were under in trying to play for him. And when I heard that, I said immediately, this ain't all on him then. That's the administration, that's the boosters, that's the media, and these kids are feeling this weight. And he said my kids weren't playing to win, they were playing not to lose. So, I mean, I hear you already agreeing with me. Do other people have to put their hat in the ring and say, you know what, I have a part to play in what's going on with this program for the last 3 years as well?
Most definitely. Listen, Mac Brown doesn't, listen, most of the time in a situation like Florida State with,
Jimbo.
With Coach Bowden, he left him in a good situation, so he passed it on to Jimbo. You know, Mac Brown got out of there because, they got him out. He saw what was coming.
Yeah.
You see, and the thing about it, I appreciate Coach Strong for being a professional, even when they brought him in. Even knowing I'm about to lose my job, he said, let me tell y'all something. At the University of Texas, you don't get to hide. And the pressure that's on me is felt by my team.
Yeah.
And you can see it. We play. I mean, you look at Texas, they look like they playing like they playing like, they ain't playing like relaxed football. They playing tense, tight. That Kansas game, this is the funny thing. Kansas, they run onto the field bigger than how many times they haven't won because they don't even expect to beat Texas. Right. They're like, man, we about to beat Texas.
It's like 1938.
Exactly. So it's one of those things that before Coach Strong got there, it was an expectation in Texas. After he got there, it was, man, we just hope for the best. And you can't have a hope for the best mentality when you're coaching in Texas. But Coach Strong, for him to say, man, there's a lot of pressure on my because I've never seen boosters and alumni and people come out to beat this. Who isn't for the head coach that you? And y'all ain't even for him before he even coached it down. He didn't even coach one game.
He ain't even been to his office yet.
I will say this. Exactly, but I will say this. One thing that the University of Texas can afford you that most places can't is the limelight and a platform. So somebody's going to get Coach Strong. I don't know who's going to get it, but I'm going to tell you one reason why. Two words. Guarantee he's going to get a job. Will Muschamp. This man better get another head coaching job.
I was just talking about that dude.
Because if he doesn't, that is a travesty. Because if Will Muschamp can have the resume he had at Florida, to even add insult to injury to Auburn, to now be the head coach in South Carolina, this Coach Strong should say, listen, man, I'm going to be just fine, but I think it's how much loyalty he has. See, he loves these kids, man, and he understands it's out of his control at this point, but it's hard to get players to play for you, man, and he's just that player's coach, but Coach Strong, man, he got $11 million buyout. This man will be fine.
That. And apparently the kids love him, man. These kids are talking about boycotting. I don't think they will, but, it's a mighty strong sentiment, I guess, as to how they feel for the guy. He's Ben Troupe. This is Troupe Talk. Follow him Twitter and Instagram at BenTroupe84. Last thing I got for you in college football real quick, Ben. The OSU Michigan State game last week. The final play of the game. I want to talk to you about your 2-point conversion strategy because mine is this. If you're at home, and especially if you're the underdog at home like Michigan State was, a team who's having a very, very down year, you don't go for 2. You just go to touchdown. The crowd is going crazy. The band is playing and all that. As soon as you throw that interception on that 2-point conversion, everything just deflates immediately. And you're stuck like Chuck. You play for overtime every time because you're in front of your people.
Of course.
You agree with that?
I do. Mike D'Antoni, it doesn't even look like he know how to coach sometimes. It's like, have you
like he just forgotten.
Listen,
dude, they were in the playoffs last year, dude. This team and this team were in the playoffs.
Listen, you got to keep and put pressure on the other team.
Right.
See, OSU, it's all on them. When you go for 2, first and foremost, y'all are running teams.
Right.
Let's just say
they couldn't throw the ball at all Saturday.
You can't throw the ball in the open field. You're going to try to throw it over 1 yard.
Right.
I just think that that's what happens when a coach is too firm and secure in his position. See, they're gonna ride with him based off previous, accomplishments. I can't live off last year. If you turn on the tape from this year, last year, like, who are these players? Who is this team? And I just think I just said, Coach, please don't go for 2. Come on, don't. Dude, listen, you don't go for 2 if this is college football. College game, they're on the game.
Yeah.
That's the point. You put the pressure back on OSU, but listen, and that's what happens, man. That's the difference. Pressure is either 2 things. It's either felt or it's applied. And he felt that pressure. And instead of applying it, and next thing you know, it's 17-16 game over OSU. Congratulations, you're still in the 4th team. You're still in the running for the top 14. I won't understand it ever. I'll never understand it.
Crazy. In the world of pro football yesterday, apparently nobody wants to kick extra points anymore, or no one wants to prove that they can prove. Like, here's the ironic part, though, Ben. The one kid that everybody's been on, the kid from the Buccaneers, Aguayo, he's the only one that was perfect. Well, one of the only ones that was perfect yesterday. Let's leave that alone. Let's talk about the Cowboys. We do that every week. Let's talk about the Cowboys. Right now, they're sitting there at 9-1, man. Tony Romo, there's been rumors coming out about places that he would want to see himself playing in there. I mean, he's getting ready for his exit in Dallas. I've even heard retirement. Couple things I want to ask you about, though, with him, because this team may mess around and run away with things. And there's this thing they do in the league where you end up resting players towards the end of the season. And we talked about last week these guys, possibly these 2 rookies, hitting a rookie wall. If they run away with things and get a big enough lead on everyone else, get the home field and all that wrapped up, they can rest these dudes who have never played this much football in a season. You know what I mean? And then, sir, you got to turn back to the guy who just handed the reins over to Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying? This dude with injury problems already. If you're the Cowboys, you don't want to do that, do you? Because this dude got to have some trade value for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can't. You definitely the greatest. They got good problems down there in Dallas right now. And the thing about it is, you got 2 rookies that they can't afford to sit. See, they haven't played enough football to sit.
Oh.
Even if they run away. Now, I understand that if they get home field advantage and you put Dak in for a couple of quarters and you just let them, because I heard of Darren McFadden, even Jalen Smith, which is going to be the field goal story. If they can come back off of IR, you just let those boys run the ball. But you're right. People want a healthy Tony Romo. You got to have something to it.
Right.
Listen, if I'm on Craigslist, I'm looking for a nice car. It got to run now. I don't want no. It's a nice car, but the engine went out. No.
So do you just skip him and go to Sanchez in a situation like that?
No. You know what? You possibly could. If you got the trade value that you want, because the one thing about Tony Romo, somebody's going to want him.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get him. When you think about Denver, when you think about places like Jacksonville and Chicago, there's a bunch of places that'll get him.
Jets.
So
the
Jerry
Denver
Jones
Broncos
got to really earn his GM money. Yeah. So I think the best 2 places that he's probably the best 3 in my opinion is New York, Denver, or San Francisco. Those are the 3 places I can see him going because they really, really need him there, trade for him. But, yeah, you're right, man. I think Sanchez might have to earn his money too, man. It just, he's good at being a backup. That's where he makes his money at. But, man, look, Dak Prescott, I ain't never seen nothing like it, man.
You see him getting better and better every week. Yeah.
If it's all-out blitz, I'm throwing to the dead. If it's one-on-one, I'm throwing to the dead. If it's zone, I'm throwing to the Beasley or Witten. What can you do? What can you do to that man when he plays that type of football?
And you know what else? They can't speed him up. You know how usually you get a young quarterback, you want to put pressure on him and speed him up. That offensive line is ridiculous, B. I'm not even going to front, man.
They really are, man. It's so to watch Ezekiel Elliott make people look funny on tape, because the thing is, this is the one thing the Dallas Cowboys are doing that I always say. You don't have to run the ball for yards. You have to run the ball to keep the defense on.
Mm-hmm.
Just the same way in throwing the ball. You don't always got to complete it. And the thing about Dak Prescott, his best years are so far ahead of him. This boy's playing this good, and you ain't got no tape on him. This boy's only going to get better and better and better. Jerry Jones is lucky, man. He is so lucky as an owner and a GM to get this type of player. But Dallas is doing it without defense, and that's what Tony Romo's going to do. Tony Romo could be like a Herschel Walker type pick, man. You could build your defense around this dude, depending on who you get for him. So, hey, man, Dallas, they 9-1, and they ain't no fluke, and they could be 10-0. You know, depending on the first game.
Crazy.
But they playing some lights-out football right now.
That is crazy. I'm talking right now with Ben Troupe. Got a couple minutes left here on Troupe Talk. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram at BENTROUPE84. Let's talk about that Bengals squad, man. Marvin Lewis. Talk about another guy who is probably he's probably done his time. You know what I mean? He's probably done his time in Cincinnati. The one thing that he could hang his hat on every year was that, look, at least we in the tournament. Every year we in the tournament. Not this year, homie. And especially this year's gonna make it look even worse because of how winnable that division is. You know, with the Steelers being down, the Ravens are 5-5, my man. Like, this is a winnable division for a team that pretty much brought everybody back. You lost Marvin Jones, you lost Mohamed Sanu. Who knew those would be as big a losses as they were? Talk to me about Marvin Lewis, man. Like, is this the swan song for my man out there?
If it's not, man, maybe they know something we don't. I mean, I do. The only I think what helps Marvin Lewis is a guy like Jeff Fisher. I mean, to be able to have these type of coaches, at least one is going to the playoffs. Only problem is you ain't getting past the first round. And when you look at how much talent they brought back, I mean, they brought everybody back. I mean, from Green to Eifert to to Giovanni, and the thing about it is that defense. But yet, I look up, you 3-6-1. So I don't see this team going anywhere this year. They actually looking like the old Bengals, but they got superior talent.
Right.
And when you have you know how it is, Mike. When you got superior talent, when you don't got superior talent, you blame it on the fact that I need better players. When you got superior talent, it's the coach.
And it's about to
get
worse.
And it always goes to the thing. Yeah, and Marvin Lewis, I mean, the thing about him, he's a good coach, never a great coach, because you can't live out what you did last year. And y'all go to the playoffs every year. And Andy Dalton has regressed. I just don't understand it. I mean, I understand that A.J. Green went out with a hamstring injury, but you still got guys to throw the ball to. So, I mean, if he has another year, man, maybe they give him another year based on what's going on. But I think this might be it for him. Speaking
of teams regressing, that Cardinal squad, man, they done messed around and gave Bruce Arians a damn heart attack. You know, and you talk about a team that brought everybody back. They literally, brought everybody back. No one and added Chandler Jones to the mix and got worse, got hella worse. They're terrible this year. You talk about a team for Tony Romo. They're talking about the Cardinals because, of course, Carson Palmer can't play forever.
Now that would be scary.
Yeah, if Carson Palmer decided to hang it up,
that would be scary.
So now what's next for them?
Carson Palmer might have hung it up this year. I know that's him out there. But it looks like, I'm like, is that Carson Palmer? Carson Palmer is playing some uninspired football.
Yeah, man.
The man threw a 100-yard pick yesterday. I mean, what a 100-yard? Come on, Carson. You're making throws that rookies they ain't even making. You can't throw that. And the thing about it is this. Carson Palmer was looked upon to be a guy that helped them make a playoff run. He is looking like a guy that's, early retirement. So, he gonna have to make some serious changes here real fast, because that's hard to watch, man. The Cardinals they ain't even looking average. They looking below average, man.
Talk about the things that rookies would do. I don't know what I saw yesterday in the Rams game out of Jared Goff. You talked about Jeff Fisher's another one of your guys, man, and that dude is 4 losses away from being the second losing his coach in the NFL. And they decided they're going to throw Jared Goff in yesterday, but they ain't let him play. My man threw for 130-something yards in the game and like 2 passes over 10 yards. Come on, like, if you want to show, like you talked about the car earlier, getting a car off Craigslist, right? Yeah, let me put it on the highway, dude. Let me see what it's really going to do before I buy it. You got this dude out here playing like, I don't know who, playing for field goals, the defense holding the Dolphins to nothing. And then what happened? Fourth quarter comes. It's an NFL game. All NFL teams apparently can play in the fourth quarter. You don't get a lead on them. Guess what? You're going to lose the ball game like you did yesterday. What's up with your man, Ben? What's up with this whole situation out there?
Jeff Fisher actually played this whole situation extremely bad. You put the first overall pick in early.
Yeah, get it out.
That way when he struggles late, you still going to keep your job. But you held the ball in the garage all year like you got something in there worth watching. Just to watch him get in there and stink up the joint. He stunk it up. So I just it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things to where Jeff Fisher, in my opinion, is the reason why a lot of coaches have jobs. 160 seconds, 100. And the thing about it is, He's so respected throughout the league.
Yeah, that's crazy,
People,
right?
oh, this guy's a great. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute now. I mean,
dude, you always say, dude, you always say that you can't live off what you did, but apparently Jeff Fisher didn't get that memo. That dude was 1 yard short of tying a Super Bowl, and everybody loves him as though he's Tom Landry now, dude.
And that's 90. And think about it. That's like that's 99.
Right.
99. I was junior high school. Come on. And I just, and you know what's funny? It's like you say, that's the one thing I can appreciate about the NFL. Ain't nobody had to know that was going to be his 160, but they're like, just in case y'all don't know, if he loses today, it's 162. While somebody else may be trying to get their 100th win, Pete Carroll, he just got his 100th win. You know, Jeff Fisher just got his 167. So Jared Goff was put in the work. If your best receiver is Kenny Britt,
Tavon Austin, please.
Tavon Austin, you can only live off potential for so.
Yeah,
I'm like,
he's a punt returner, dude.
Virginia. Yeah, this ain't what you think you're finna outrun people with them little. You're not. But listen, it happens. But if Jeff Fisher survives another year, Marvin Lewis deserves another year.
I would say so. I would say Charlie Strong does too. I mean, let's just let everybody keep staying.
I think Charlie Strong. If Charlie Strong is like he got somebody appointed him the president, but they ain't give him none of the control. I don't think he controls that situation down there at all. But I think it's so many people that's pulling his strings. He's a puppet, man. And unfortunately, this man has earned the right to go out there and get the players he wants. Because players still want to go to Texas. One of my best friends lives in Houston. He said, "Ben, let me tell you something. Forget the Texans, forget the Cowboys. The University of Texas runs this state." Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, man. And I think the man should have really been given the reins, given the support of the alumni and the boosters. You don't give me the job and say, "Look, man, we don't really want you to be here."
It's tough. Who's that? That's your baby?
No, yes, that's my little niece, man. These kids run all around today.
No doubt. Look at you, man, doing your thing. Anyway, man,
trying to.
Good stuff as always, man. I always appreciate your time and your input, brother. So we're gonna do it again next week. We got championship. We got rivalry. We got rivalry week next week, but then the week after that, hey, man, got championship week, my man. We gotta try to stop this boy Dalvin Cook. He ain't gonna make it easy. No, you think? You think? All right, man. We'll do it again next week, brother. That's Ben Troupe. Make sure you guys follow him on Twitter and Instagram, BenTroupe. He's a former All-American down there at Florida, also drafted in the second round by the Tennessee Titans. Jeff Fisher, who we just got through talking about drafting him. Yeah, we do it every week, Troupe Talk, man. That dude is wild as hell, man. Like, that's his man, Jeff Fisher, but he's trash as a coach, man. That dude is like the epitome of averages. Like when I know those talking about like white privilege for coaches, yeah, maybe just throw Jeff Fisher in that joint too, because I don't know anything that Jeff Fisher has ever done. Like Ben said, that damn Super Bowl was 99. Like Steve McNair was alive playing in that game. And here we are, 2016. My man's still like, yeah, I'm the coach. I don't know how, but keep counting them losses while I keep counting these checks. Anyway, speaking of Super Bowls, man, I got my man Cato June coming up next. We're going to talk about this Charlie Strong thing a little bit more from the perspective of someone who is an up-and-coming coach. Went from the high school ranks to a professional coach. And I think he had something to do with a professional coaching internship in Detroit with the Lions at one point. So we'll get a chance to ask him about all that and chop it up with him. He just got honored. That Super Bowl team in Indianapolis, he just got honored this past weekend. So we'll get into all that kind of stuff here in just a second with Cato June. This is the One Mic with Big Mike show here. Spreaker.com is where you're hearing me. You may be also hearing me on the Spreaker app or, of course, on TuneIn and OneMicWithBigMike.com. If you ever need to go back and check out the interviews that I've done, everything's available on demand on all four of those outlets, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. Whoa, excuse me, that came out of nowhere. Google Play Music, and, of course, YouTube, where you can catch the on-demand version of the video stream that's going on right now on the Facebook page, facebook.com/One Mic with Big Mike. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cold time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
One mic. All I need is one mic.
What's the name of the show?
One Mic with Big Mike.
You know, ain't nobody getting hurt, ain't nobody, there's no crime being committed.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
This is real life stuff that's happened to me.
Well, you know what?
You, and you.
One Mic with Big Mike.
I like to be able to do what I want to do.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limits.
Meek Mill's concert is not called the Hell Yeah I Banged Khloe Kardashian concert.
And now, your host.
Put your hands together for the one, the only
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
What up? Welcome back to the Monday episode of the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm getting Cato June on the line right now. Had some problems with the phone a few seconds ago, so you guys are going to have to bear with me through this one. It is the One Mic with Big Mike show here on Spreaker, the Spreaker app, as well as on TuneIn, and of course, the One Mic with BigMike.com website. Also, catch the on-demand episodes of the show on Spreaker, all those outlets, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and of course, YouTube, where you can catch the video stream and the audio stream. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. And don't forget, you can also text the show at 404-902-8104. I think I got my man Cato on the line right now. Cato, you there, brother?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my bad about that. I tried this janky ass phone I got. I was trying to call you during the break, but I had to go ahead and come back to the show. You know how it is, this old one man show type situation I got going on here, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. About yourself?
Good, man. Good. Last time I talked to you, you was coaching high school ball. The time before that too, and now you're a college coach, and that's the reason I wanted to talk to you today, man. All this stuff going on with Charlie Strong, you being an up and coming black coach. I wanted to get your thoughts on not just his particular situation, but some stuff that I was reading about Coach Dungy saying. By the way, you guys, this is Cato June, former NFL All-Pro linebacker, Super Bowl champ with the Colts. They got honored this weekend up there in Indy. He's a Michigan alum, so we get to talk to him about some of that as well. Right now, you just heard me mention it, he's the running backs coach for the Howard Bison. Is it now at the black school, Cato? Is it the Bison or the Bison? Because the white people at North Dakota say it's the Bison. What do the black folks say? Bison, right? See, see, and I was making a joke about that, but see, that's how we do. Like we say McDonald's and Miss Winners. Yeah, that's how we change it up. Follow him on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at CATOJUNE. So let's talk about this past weekend real quick. First, you guys were in Indianapolis getting honored for that Super Bowl team. You, Gary Brackett, was Bob Sanders there and all those cats, and Robert Mathis is still playing. He ain't gonna never stop playing damn football. Peyton Manning was there, right? Robert Mathis is like 44 years old. He gonna be like, I'm gonna play till I'm like 64 and then hang it up.
I'm telling you, he got a sack too.
Yeah, no, of course he did. You're not surprising me at all with that. Do you pay for anything when you go to Indianapolis, or is like that Super Bowl ring like your only currency? Like you just show up at the steakhouse, like, yo, let me get the big porterhouse. While you at it, throw the biggest lobster you got, and I'm gonna pay for it with this. Bling. Is that how it works?
Well, not quite, but Gary Brackett does have a lot of restaurants, so we get into town, we get treated pretty well.
Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do. Who's the dude that kind of just let themselves go, man? Like you coaching kids, you running around with those young cats now, so I know you kind of got to get your butt in the weight room at least a little bit. But who's the dude like you showed back up and you hadn't seen him in a while and was like, damn, bruh, like football's over and you just like, I'm gonna eat everything. Who is that guy?
I don't think nobody really.
Word?
Man. It was funny, man. A lot of guys were, actually, lost a lot of weight, especially the linemen. Linemen typically, you see them, several years after, and they actually don't look like linemen anymore. It's the funniest thing.
See, I was guessing you was gonna say Peyton Manning. Like he just retired. He was like, you know what, Papa John's every day for the kids. You know what I mean? Anyway,
nah, not quite bad.
Here's the thing, man. This Charlie Strong thing got me to thinking. And I did a lot of reading today. Like at first, I knew Charlie Strong was probably gonna get fired somewhere during the middle of the season, and it was just what it was. But the more and more I read it, I felt like it was so much more meat on this bone and so many more things to explore. And as I was reading, I saw your former coach, Tony Dungy, the coach of that Super Bowl team you were on, talk about the pressure that he felt being a black head coach, the pressure to succeed, understanding that it may have an effect on guys coming after him, guys who wanted to coach more. Now, I'm only assuming, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that because you were coaching high school ball, now coaching college ball, initially I thought, former player, wanted to give back to the community, help the kids out. But now that you're coaching college ball, it feels like you're a guy who wants to progress in that coaching career. Being that as it may, when you see a situation like Charlie Strong, you hear me paraphrase what Tony Dungy was saying, what kind of thoughts go through your mind as a coach coming, and even not just you, but you work around guys who I'm assuming have bigger aspirations in their coaching careers. Like when you see this Charlie Strong thing going on, what becomes the attitude for you?
Well, the game is already, competitive enough when you're talking about, big time football.
Yeah.
And winning is pretty much everything. You win, and even when you win, sometimes it's not enough. Look at Bo Pelini. I think he won 9 games 4 or 5 years in a row and still gets fired. So
Yeah.
that's how competitive that situation can be. When you're an African American head coach, you have an enormous amount of pressure in the sense that, hey, it's not an equal playing field in terms of numbers. It's not the same amount of black head coaches as are white head coaches. So you do have some pressure to go out there and perform, so the next guy can have the opportunity. Not only that, I would imagine, I've never been a head football coach at a major university, but I imagine, there's a lot of pressure to have other black coaches on your staff,
Right.
And it's funny, we've had that conversation where, hey, what would your staff makeup be? And would it be very specific on how many, black coaches that you would hire because of that, that pressure situation? So you look at it too, because, hey, you want to cheer for a guy like Charlie who had a number of African-American coaches on his staff,
Mm-hmm.
So those guys do well, and so the next guys have the same opportunity. So you do kind of want to cheer for a guy like that. And there is pressure because there's pressure to win already, no matter, what you look like. As also, you have the pressure to, maybe have, more black coaches because you are black.
Right.
I'm not saying that these guys are not qualified or, having, the best for that position at that time. But, at the same time, there's still pressure to have that situation. So I could imagine for him, especially being in the state of Texas where they've never had a head black football coach at the university, to go out there and have some success now and often because, you're at Texas, the expectation is to win, and, you're also the first, African-American coach to do it. So there is some pressure, unfortunately, for that position. But, at the end of the day, you do have to win.
I did a video log, I don't know if it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and it was talking about like the kid from Wisconsin, the basketball player, who's been very outspoken about some of the racial issues that are going on in that neck of the woods. And then there was another kid, Michael Rose Ivy, the linebacker from Nebraska. He and some of his teammates, they knelt for the national anthem, and they caught like major hell, like people talking about they should be lynched and all this kind of stuff. And it brought a thought to my mind, and maybe someone like you could appreciate this. The title for the vlog was N-word, just leave. And my point was, in big-time college football, unlike a lot of different areas in this society that we live in, the people of color have the power. The labor force has the power. And if a kid is at Wisconsin and he feels that I'm being mistreated at this place for all that I feel like I'm giving to this place and all the money that they're making off me, I'm thinking to myself, I'm sure a place like Howard could find place for a bunch of D1 athletes. Now, you may not be able to play in front of 100,000 people. You might not have the biggest, hugest facilities and weight rooms and all that. But you know what you won't have to do? You won't have to beg people on campus to treat you like a human being. What are your thoughts in that respect? Like, at the end of the day, just leave, because they'll feel that pinch more than you just tweeting something about the way you've been treated on campus. The money won't come in if it's a bunch of white boys playing football at Wisconsin. Can we keep it real?
I think that it would have to be a wholesale move.
Right.
And a situation where it's not just one guy.
No, everybody got to do it.
You're talking about, a straight movement. And if what is it, the University of Missouri didn't show you anything, that the players have the power.
That's exactly the example I gave.
And they stood up together and they made a statement, say, hey, we're not going to stand for this, and this is not going to be a part of who we are. And black, white, and everybody together stood up in solidarity and said, you know what, we're not going to play. We're not going to allow, this bigotry to move us, as a team. And it made they hit the bushes and it made people move. It made them move quickly.
Right.
Just the thought of, hey, we're not going to play. We're not going to go out there. And they stood up together, and that was awesome. It showed that the players do have the power. But it has to be, as a unit. And I'm not just saying, hey, all the black players do this. It would have to be a unit where, say, the black, the white, all the ethnicities that play this game of football would have to stand up together and say, you know what, we're not going to stand for this type of hate, this type of bigotry, and we are going to stand by our brothers that we go out there sweat and battle with every day, and that will be the thing that makes it makes change, and it makes people stand up and say, you know what, you're right, we're not going to stand for this.
Oh yeah, see, I was like the total the other end. I was like, yeah, everybody who looked like me, just bounce and let them figure it out with Christian and Joshua and all the white boys, because like what you end up figuring out is that, guess what, if Alabama didn't have, just look at Alabama, the best team in the country. Look at the makeup of that ball club, and you tell me if you don't take all the black folks off that team, that damn school will be running to kiss your ass, because that's how it was back in the day when the HBCUs had the monopoly on the black talent. That's what ended up having to happen. These Texas schools went and paid off like Prairie View A&M and paid these people not to recruit in certain areas so they could get the talent. So if you not feeling good about where you at, I ain't about that begging life, man. Like, please treat me right. Nah, hit them where it hurts. Cause
you're right. You're right, though. But at the same time, even since the beginning of this country, I think, take it back to the Civil War. Mm-hmm. As a people, black people have never, been able to stand up together. You even still have people that, fought for the Confederacy.
Yeah, black slave
for whatever
owners.
Reason. You have people on both sides of the coin, all because of, them trying to take care of themselves. So, that's the difficult situation when you talk about these racial issues, because the black community, has yet to be able to stand up as one and say, hey, you know what, this is what we're going to do. And you do have the power to move people. Yeah. But I think that the more movement has come when we had people, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, kind of standing on the same plane and say, you know what, you're right. This is injustice. This is incorrect. We're not going to stand for it as well. And I think it moves more, because we haven't, we have yet to do it in the history of this country.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it. And even if you look back in the history, going back to the beginning of the time, you had what? Even in slavery, you've had several slave revolts here and there. But how many times have you've seen all
everybody,
black community at one time say no more?
Yeah.
People typically, look out for themselves, and that's kind of an unfortunate situation.
The other voice that you're hearing is former NFL All-Pro linebacker, Super Bowl champ with the Colts. He's a University of Michigan alum as well. Right now, coaching running backs and heading up the recruiting over there with the Howard Bison, not to be confused with the North Dakota Bison. He's at Cato June on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. How did that come about, by the way? Because I mentioned the last time I talked to you, you was coaching the kids, and then Renee was sharing articles about you getting the gig with Howard. How did all that come about?
You know what? Everything's about relationships in this coaching game.
True
man.
that.
And if you built relationships, for whatever reason, whether you thought you were or it was delivered or just it happened by chance, I think that you have yourself in a situation where when opportunity comes about and you take advantage of it. And that's kind of what it was. A guy that the OC who was typically recruiting my schools. Just had a good relationship with him. Opportunity came open, and I took it. It wasn't the typical what people would think, the offensive side of the ball, but the way I look at it
makes sense.
You can coach anything, man. And, Backs had some success this year, but, as a team we didn't, all across the board. But, my Backs had some success this year, so I'm looking forward to kind of building on that, man, and really just go out here and recruiting and get some guys in so we can get a bunch of wins in the future, man. Because everything think about it, everything is about winning. You say about what you want, numbers-wise, if you're not winning, you're putting yourself in a situation where you're going to give somebody else a chance.
Please believe. And you know what? Immediately I saw the correlation. I mean, as a linebacker, you are the mirror to the running back. So who better to coach running backs than the guy who saw it from the other perspective, the other angle. So, yeah, when I heard that, I got it right away. The man who recruited me out of high school was a running back who was coaching linebackers at the time. So, I kind of got that immediately. This weekend, my man, it's about to be some real serious stuff. The last time we talked, we messed around and joked around that weirdo coach up there in Michigan. But he's showing improvement, man. He's like the funniest, weirdest dude ever. That dude told Tom Rinaldi this. Tom Rinaldi asked him a very basic interview question that you ask people. If you weren't doing this, what would you be doing? He was like, what do you mean? No. The deal was I was going to play as long as I could. Now I'm going to coach as long as I can. Then I'm going to die. Like, who says that? What weirdo says that? He's like one of those idiot savants, the dude that's real good at one thing, but it's like terrible at just being a human being. So enough about Jim. What the hell is his name? I was about to call him Jim Moore. What's your coach name, man? What's your coach name, Cato? Jim Harbaugh. Come on, help me handicap this game this week, though, because this is the one that we've been waiting for. As soon as he got there, it was like, okay, now we get Harbaugh, we get Urban Meyer. Let's rock and roll. Handicap this game for me, my man.
You know what? We have to go in there and be who we are defensively.
Yeah.
We've been able to go in there and shut teams down. We're physical. We make plays on the outside from our defensive back standpoint, and being very physical. Just a very physical, brutal defense, and one of the best I've seen in a long time coming out of Ann Arbor. So I'm looking forward to that. I think defensively, if we do what we're supposed to do and we can control the game by running the football, I don't care who lines up a quarterback on Saturday.
Really?
We'll leave Columbus looking forward to going back to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship game.
My man. Now, let me ask you this, though. Let's say in this real crazy hypothetical type of situation that Ohio State wins this game, and then Michigan still goes to Indianapolis, right? Even if they lose, right?
No, we lose. Penn State actually goes.
So Michigan and Penn State is in the same side of the Big Ten?
Yes.
What the hell have I been?
Lose, Penn State will actually go. It's unfortunate, but that's kind of the way it shakes down.
Oh, so
kind of weird.
This is good. So you guys can just screw Ohio State totally then in this situation. Like, I'm sitting here thinking that, yeah, okay, so the other side is like Wisconsin and Nebraska and them is on the other side. That's where we're at with that. Yeah. All right. Well, damn. I'm looking forward to it, man.
The problem with that is they can still get in the playoff, which is probably more important than the championship game.
Wait, you think so? Would a Michigan win?
They're ranked 3. What are they, ranked 2? If they get lucky on Saturday, they're still ranked 2, even though they don't go to the championship game. Right. They lost to Penn State. Penn State goes, but they're still ranked 2. So what's going to knock them out? They're a one-loss team that's ranked number 2. What's going to knock them out of the top 4? Nothing.
I'm thinking Alabama. I'm thinking if Washington has one loss and a Pac-12 championship, and I'm thinking Michigan if they win this weekend and then win the Big Ten championship, and of course then Clemson wins the ACC championship, which leaves Ohio State out. That's the kind of the way I had it play out in my feeble little mind.
We have to win. We have to win, and that's the big thing. We have to win, and that's where Penn State. I doubt if they sneak in, even though they can go in as a one-loss team. I don't think that will happen, but. You never know. They love the Big Ten. There's definitely very competitive teams, and they travel very well. So you just never know how that's going to shake down.
That's what it is. The other voice that you're hearing, of course, is former NFL All-Pro linebacker Cato June. He's a Michigan alum. He here is talking about the big game coming up this weekend. He's coaching running backs right now over there at Howard. At Cato June is his handle on all social media platforms. What's the offseason have for Cato June, or is there an offseason when you're the recruiting guy and you're the running backs coach? What's going on with the Howard squad for the offseason here so far?
Hey, man, you get out there and you try to bring the best guys to D.C., man. And, we're going to, get out there and recruit and, target the guys that we feel like we need to help us be successful and really just kind of show up what we have to offer, man. And, once signing day comes, hopefully, we won't not sitting in the office waiting on facts.
Oh, God. They still doing that.
Show up.
It's 2016, but who still, I hear that every year. We're waiting on these faxes to come through. Why?
It's crazy.
Shoot me an email, B.
I've been on the other side of it, and I used to email mine to the coaches because I just thought it would make more sense. I'm like, I'm not dealing with no fax machine.
Right, it does.
We still have to sit there and wait for those emails and those facts, or to come through with those that are live. So
what's the biggest challenge?
I'll be looking forward to that day.
When you're going out recruiting, what's the biggest challenge that you face? Say I'm a recruit, how do you get me to go to Howard? Especially if because when I was in school, right, way back in the day, there would always be that one school with a more prestigious than the other one. For me, of course, it started by probably the bottom school was Tuskegee, and at the top was maybe Marshall for me. You know what I mean? So if you got a kid that crosses so many different barriers, not all Alabama, Tennessee, Michigan, it's not all that, but you got a chance to get in there. How do you cross that barrier and take on that challenge to convince a guy that Howard is the spot for him?
It's tough, man, because a lot of times, we all have hoop dreams, just for lack of better words, and everybody wants to go to the biggest, brightest school that they can, and they should, if they have the opportunity to go to the best school that fits them. Our thing is we're an FCS program, Division I AA, and those are the type of kids that we're going to get. At the same time, we can't admit, your average student, so to speak, your 2'5", 820 NCAA qualified guy.
Gotcha.
We need guys that are higher academic students so that they can get into school, that they can get admitted. So that's the biggest challenge, trying to find the guys that can get admitted, academically, and still have the athletic ability. Because the rest of them, they can admit those guys. They can get, if you're qualified, you can get into school. I'm not saying that if you could just write your name and spell that correctly, you can be able to get in, but we can't take those type of kids at Howard University. We're definitely looking at a kid that is a higher academic kid, a better student, and because we have higher academic standards. So those are the challenges we face when we go out recruiting against a conference where, most of those guys can take the minimum qualifier kid where we can't.
Right. What's the minimum now? You said it's 820 and something else? That's the minimum now?
Yeah, 820 SAT and the 2.5, core course. Ours is more like 1,000 and 3.0. So you're talking about 22 on the ACT. So those standards are, it makes it tough. It makes it in a situation where you're not able just to recruit anybody. You have to be very specific because now you're talking about. We're competing against the Patriot League and the Ivy League kids and those, the kids that are, your Naval Academy, your Air Force, those type of kids. Those are the ones that we have to compete against. So it makes it, our pool of kids a lot smaller. And on top of that, we have to get a kid that wants to go to a HBC or historically black college university.
Right.
So that's our challenge, to find that niche kid that fits our very specific requirement.
Well, at least I know now why Howard wasn't coming to get me. I ain't had nowhere near no 3.0 or nothing else like that. Hell no. Last thing I want to ask you about, and you know what, I kind of quibble with asking you about this because of the fact that you do work with kids, and I didn't want to put you in a tight spot, but I always want to give the guests an opportunity to decline to answer the question. Just last week I was talking about the NFLPA going into researching marijuana as an option for pain relief. So I was kind of like, do I want to ask them this because I don't want you going back to campus and the kids be like, man, yep, heard Coach June said smoke up, you know what I mean? But if you can, give me your thoughts on the NFL finally taking that step into the present and understanding that the things that you once thought you knew about something 40, 50 years ago aren't the same as they are now, and at least taking a step to say, okay, let's put some money into researching this because we got former athletes on a serious note, killing themselves, overdosing on pills that we've given them for years and years and years in their careers. What are your thoughts about that step that the NFLPA is taking as far as researching marijuana as a pain reliever?
I think anytime you don't research something to the fullest extent is ignorant. So the fact that they're taking a step to research something that, may have already been proven, in people that partake in the activity for medicinal purposes.
Word.
I don't think that those two things are one and the same in the sense that, hey, let's approve the ban, let's lift the ban and say, since it's medicinal, it's okay. I don't think those are one and the same because now we're talking about, hey, you want your athletes to put the best product on the field. Do I think that you can go out there and do that and be the most successful athlete? No, I just don't. I'm not in agreement with that in terms of if that's what you do. I'm saying that, as a former guy, as a guy that, is looking for alternative medicines to deal with the things that they had to deal with physically, yes, absolutely do research and see if this is something that can be beneficial to people that are dealing with depression, dealing with physical ailments that they, pills don't do. I'm not a pill guy. I don't want to sit up there and take 1,000 pills every day. But at the same time, everybody deals with it differently. I don't think that should be something that current players should, fall into that trap of thinking, hey, I need this to get by, because I don't think it makes you a better football player. I think anything that's not helping you is taking you away from being a better athlete for that short period of time that you're going to have the opportunity to play. So I don't want to make it seem like it's one and the same. The research part of it is great to help former players or guys that's dealing with different things. That's great. But for current players, guys that are still trying to play at a high level, I think that needs to be something that is, in a separate boat when we're talking about how we deal with it.
There it is. See, kids, Coach June said no lighting up. But if you retired, then maybe for you.
It's tough, man. They're on campus, man. And especially here in D.C., it's treated.
Oh, yeah, because it is legal.
it's been decriminalized. It's not necessarily legal, but
splitting hairs.
They just do it like it's nothing.
Sweet.
And that's a tough situation because, as an athlete, you can't do what other people do. You have to hold your body in a different manner, and trying to explain something that's just like a common thing, like it's almost like smoking cigarettes to some of these kids, which doesn't help you either, though.
Right.
And so it's a tough situation. It's a conversation that just needs to continue to be had, and people need to continue to educate themselves and move forward from there.
There it is. Cato, as always, man, I appreciate your time. Appreciate you taking time out your schedule to join me, man, and give us some real good information, as well as your opinions on some of the things that's going on in the sports world right now, man. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Hey, man, anytime, man.
Don't forget to follow him, Cato June, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, CatoJune, the former NFL All-Pro, Super Bowl champ. He said that Super Bowl ring ain't currency up there in Indianapolis. I think I'd have to find it out for myself. Let me get the mink, and let me get them $400 boots, and I'm gonna pay for it with bling immediately out the store with it, out the back door. That's why stuff like that don't happen to me. I'm not a Super Bowl champion because I just take full advantage and be very inwardish with it. Anyway, let's take a break here, man. We'll come back. We got to get on this day out of the way, and we got some other stuff. I want to continue this Charlie Strong thing. I figured it would take a minute, especially since I had two guests, but I want to get to the rest of my thoughts on not just Charlie Strong, but more so maybe what he represents. It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm here, man. Spreaker.com is where here is. I'm also on the Spreaker app. Tune in, and, of course, OneMicWithBigMike.com. Make sure you guys are following me on Twitter and Instagram. And text the show at 404-902-8104 or leave your comments inside the live interactive chat room or below the live streaming video that's going on Facebook Live. My Facebook page is One Mic with Big Mike.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
I heard on the news about that 5-year-old who found his uncle's gun. The kid didn't know it was loaded.
I heard on the news about that 14-year-old girl who was bullied online. For like a year, she couldn't take it anymore, so she got her dad's gun from his nightstand.
I heard on the news about that guy who broke into someone's house, stole a gun from the hall closet.
He accidentally shot his cousin in the head.
She killed herself.
And later, killed the owner of the store he was trying to rob.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearms storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
And now back to One Mic with Big Mike.
And here we go!
Word. Him in the bird. 3 seconds down, 1 to go right here on the One Mic with Big Mike show on a Monday. We got a little stupid ass holiday coming up this week, so I'm not sure how we're going to maneuver throughout the week of the shows. My man Matt Latofsky hit me today, our fantasy football guy from Sporting News, said he's going to be chilling with the family, man, for the holidays and whatnot, so he ain't going to be able to do the show. So we might try to work something out, or, we might just skip it. I don't know. That's the benefits of being your own boss or whatever. I don't celebrate no damn Thanksgiving. I mean, I got some frozen pizza in the oven. I mean, not the oven, the freezer, ready for Thursday to get popping. It's One Mic with Big Mike. And about 25 minutes left in today's show. Appreciate everybody who hung out, man. I appreciate my guy Ben Troupe as always. He joins me every Monday. The homie Cato June last segment. Cato June's friend of the show. Started messing with him back in the Sports Kings days, man. You heard me mention he was coaching high school football, helping the youngsters out. Then got an opportunity to move on up to Howard, and maybe possibly, further than that if things kind of start evening out a little bit in the world of college football, or maybe even the pros, because a lot of cats like Mike Tomlin, I think, went straight from college to went straight from like William and Mary to the pros, and who was Raheem Morris, I think, is another guy, a black guy who had a head coaching gig, and he's like buried. The dude is coaching receivers now for the Falcons. So there's that. If you didn't get a chance to hear either interview, you can catch them both on demand, as well as the entire show on demand on Spreaker, the Spreaker app. Tune in, onemicwithbigmike.com, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, of course, YouTube, where the video and the audio is available. I'm streaming video right now on the Facebook page. Shout out to Jeremy Walker. Ask me if we're taking bets. See, when you type stuff like that, if I don't see it immediately, I have no idea what you're talking about. Maybe he's talking about, the only thing I could think he might be talking about is Ben. When Ben said he guarantees Charlie Strong gets another job, yeah, I wouldn't put money on that. Like, that's Ben's guy, you know what I mean? So it's going to pay for him to have more faith in him than the rest of us. But I don't know how it happens. Like, once you get, it's like dudes that get cut from the Patriots. It's like the rest of the league, but like, he trash. Nah, ain't no sense in us signing him if they couldn't make it work. Ooh, there go DeAndre Hopkins getting busy. Let's go. Oh, he out of bounds. Damn it. Trying to show out for them damn Mexicans down there. You know the mean income down there is like $600,000, but the tickets are like $100, $100+. How is that a thing? Like, how did the NFL do that? What part of the game is that, man? Anyway, it's that time in the show. Told you guys we had to move this thing all the way back. It's called On This Day. It's my daily look back into the annals of sports.
Now, let's take a look back. On this day.
You know what? Before I get into On This Day, I want to remind everybody that the One Mic with Big Mike show is taking on interns. So if you guys know someone who wants to get some of this 15 years of broadcasting experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly, by the way, all of it, just tell them to shoot me an email to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com, or they can inbox me. That's what it is, right? Inbox me at One Mic with Big Mike on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Now to the On This Day. On this day in 1959, Major League Baseball lifted the ban on interleague trade. So I guess before this, like, the Mets could only trade with the Braves, and the Braves couldn't trade with the Yankees because they weren't in the same league or whatnot. On this day in 1977, Sweetness, Walter Payton, he ran for an NFL record 275 yards against the Minnesota Vikings. That record has been broken a couple times. Corey Dillon broke it. Who else? Jamal Lewis, ATL, stand up. And I think Adrian Peterson got it too. I think like those three guys broke the record since 1977. Somebody can fact check that if you want to. On this day in 1982, the National Football League resumed its season following a 57-day player strike. And finally, on this day in 1988, once again, A-Town, stand up. Ted Turner officially buys Jim Crockett Promotions, known as NWA Crockett, and turns it into what? World Championship Wrestling. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your Monday edition of On This Day here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. We started the show talking about Charlie Strong. He's like this lame duck coach. Not even a lame duck. He's really just a dead coach walking. And, I said this maybe a couple of weeks ago when me and Ben Troupe were talking, like, at this point, it's almost like put the dude out of his misery, man. You got this dude walking around. You know he ain't coming back next year. Do the last miles on him. Cut the cord, man. Because now it's gotten ridiculous. It's gotten to the point these kids are talking about boycotting the situation, boycotting this TCU game, which is going to be his last game. Win or lose, if they win, they become bowl eligible, so they end up in a bowl game. But I ain't gonna let this dude stick around and coach no bowl game. Yeah, you might get one more week, but go ahead and take your $10.6, $10.7 million and just keep it moving. But the meat on the bone for me in this story was surprise, right? The racial angle, the racial element of it, in that, we look at the landscape of college football, and I mentioned already that there aren't that many. Like Charlie Strong, minus him, makes 12, I think. I saw different numbers, 12 or 15, but I think earlier this year, a couple dudes, the dude from Purdue got fired earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken. So Charlie Strong is, he's like one of the last guys left, and the notoriety of his program kind of turns things against him quicker than maybe in other situations. You know what I mean? I mentioned Red McComb saying at the very beginning, before he even got into his office for the first time, this is a mistake. And the other thing that kind of pisses me off about this, not the dude getting fired, I don't know Charlie Strong, but it's like when you make racist people look right, not saying he is making, but like when situations occur where a racist person can be like, I was right, just like with Donald Trump being in the damn White House. You feel me? Speaking of Donald Trump, you know what I hadn't done all day? I ain't mentioned the question of the day. Now it's too late. It's time to go anyway. It's brought to us by sportsnewsandbrews.com, by the way, my man Rob Calloway's website. He is also the host of the HBCU Report. By the way, he's got a special episode of the HBCU Report coming up this week. He's not sure what day it's going to pop up, but 2 episodes. You get 2 of them joints this week of the HBCU Report. You get the normal one on Saturday at 8 a.m., and then you get another one. I think he said it has something to do with the Turkey Day Classic on Thursday, so you may get one Friday and one on Saturday as well. I'm not sure, but just log on to Spreaker. Check out the HBCU Report, all those things. And, of course, the website, sportsnewsandbrews.com. All show long, I've been mentioning Tony Dungy. And Tony Dungy had to say this. Your success or failures makes it easier or more difficult for other black coaches to get jobs in the future. If we win, guys get interviews. Like, damn, man, it's 2016 and we still on that? Seriously? Like, whether it's factual or not, the fact that a dude like Tony Dungy has that perception of the business, it's so ridiculous to me. And like I mentioned a couple months ago when I did a story like this about the lack of college, when Stephen A. Smith was going on about Mark Richt getting the job in Miami and not a black coach, but he's so stupid he couldn't name not one guy that was a black candidate when all he had to do was like what I did. I just Googled it. And a list of like 12 or 15 dudes that were assistant coaches or head coaches at lower levels came up. So I did this already, this situation, and the fact that you find out that a lot of people want offensive coaches. Everything is turning offensive. Even Nick Saban had to be like, all right, damn it. I hate the spread stuff, but come on in here. Come on in here, Lane. Show us how to do it. And now look at them. They the most complete thing on a football field in college football. So now you look at a dude like Charlie Strong, a lot of these black coaches, where they come from, where they backgrounds, the defensive side of the football, right? A lot of these white guys who are offensive coordinators, quarterback coaches. You know why? They played quarterback for so long in the league, in college football and in any football. Quarterbacks were white. And all that stuff now that we're seeing now, especially in college football, is just a residue of that. It's the residue of a time where black people weren't looked upon as abled, not even able-bodied, able-minded to play a leadership position like quarterback. And now you see, look around, look at the coaches that you're looking at, the guys who played. Most of them that are white, most of them are white, but they came from offensive backgrounds, Cliff Kingsbury and cats like that. And then the ones who have defensive backgrounds, like the weirdo at South Carolina now, you can only point to one thing, and that's brought up in this article here, where I want to get the guy's name right, because they talk about like Sylvester Croom and how he got ran out of Mississippi State. Remember, he's the first black head coach in the SEC. He was at Mississippi daggone State. Meanwhile, you got guys. He's all right though. He's up with the Titans, coaching DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry and them boys. Then you got guys like Gene Chizik and guys like Will Muschamp. That's the weirdo that I'm talking about. Will Muschamp and guys like that you kind of see these cats getting recycled and brought back, and like you can only point to one thing. And golly, man. I wish I could find this guy's name, but I'm going to tell you what he said. He was like, all right, if you don't want me to believe that it's about race, if you don't want to believe, tell me what it is then. And if you can't tell me that, if you can't tell me or point out exactly, what my shortcomings are, I'm left to believe one thing, that it's the color of my skin. That hadn't happened yet. I mean, no one has come out and say, well, you know what? Other than Red McCombs, by the way, who says, Charlie Strong, hell of a coordinator. Position coach, definitely. But head coach at the University of Texas? I shudder at the idea. There's no way. Can't have you know what I mean, African American. That's not like racist white people. They don't even know what to call you. They know they want to say some racist stuff, but they don't really know if it's going to be like how it's going to shine upon them. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So moving on because we got about 15 minutes left in tonight's show, and I got work to do after it's over. So the college football weekend, we talked about Florida beating LSU. Oklahoma. Oklahoma beat West Virginia. It's my first time seeing West Virginia play, really, and I didn't really stick around for a lot of it. I told you guys on Friday, like, this Big 12 situation, I'm real good on it. Like, I was going to bounce if the score was like 30-30 at halftime. That one team had 30, and West Virginia was getting their ass beat. Baker Mayfield and them boys was running up and down. Samaje Perine and them cats was getting busy on them, and I was like, you know what? There's something on DVR that I could be watching right now. I checked out Colorado for the first time this year. They got a Samoan quarterback who's the business, man. Big old kid that can run, too. They played Washington State, giving Washington State their big loss, their first in-conference loss of the season, which puts them in a matchup this Friday with Washington to see who goes to the Pac-12 championship. So this weekend, man, championship Saturday or championship weekend, should be, not championship, sorry, rivalry weekend leading up to championship weekend should be pretty damn lit. Damn, I got a couple of things that I wanted to get. You know what? Yeah, screw it. I'm looking at this Raider situation going on in Mexico with the Texans, I mean. Looks like the Texans are winning 3-0. Of course, Brock Osweiler, you freaking bum. Did y'all see this thing this weekend about Mike Pence and I guess y'all president, he ain't mine. Apparently your man, thought it was all good. He was gonna get some shine. He was gonna take his ass to the Hamilton is the play, to the Hamilton play, and get out there and get him some shine for being the brand new vice president elect. And them cats, not only did they boo him, apparently there was a portion of the show that they kind of just directed to him. It started off, from what I understand, I didn't see it, with people saying, you're going to need to get your camera phones out for this one. And then they went on to, rip this dude, and rightfully so. It's like, come on, man, you can't be that dude that's, all against gay folks and all, bashing gay people, talking about conversion and all this, and then want to go to the theater. Who you think there? Who you think those folks are? That's their world. That's, the gay world. I don't mean the stereotype, but it's real talk. I heard Dan Lebatard talking today about how the theater community is one of the communities that got hit real big with the AIDS virus, man. And, these people talking about, that's their own fault. That's God punishing them for their sexual promiscuosity. Is that the word? If it's not, it is today. Yeah. And now you going to just show up and yeah, y'all, I'm in the building. Nah, you ain't. Boo, MFer. And then your president did what he does. This dude, who put this on Twitter? Somebody put this on Facebook or something. This the dude that's supposed to be going and fighting ISIS. Meanwhile, he's in a fight with with reporters, in Twitter fights with reporters and a play company, the Hamilton people. And meanwhile, also just settling this huge lawsuit, this fraud lawsuit for the what was it, Trump University? Come on, B. Here's what I need y'all to do, too, also, as far as, all the social media stuff. Y'all got to stop talking about the election. We know Hillary got the popular situation. The Electoral College is bullcrap. We know all that. His wifey is naked on the internet. You know what's not going to happen? The presidency changing. That's the title now that he has. You gotta stop talking about that. Now it's time for like the other stuff. Like I'm always talking about how like social media makes it easier for people to act like they activists and all this kind of stuff because all you doing is you just retweeting and reposting stuff that's happened. Nah, if you that pissed off about it, do something, man. Like grassroots this thing. You know what I mean? Get your situation straight with your local schools and the activities and things for kids in your area. Like do that stuff. Clean up your neighborhood. Like you sitting behind your computer on your phone talking about, look, and this is what happened, and this should have happened. Oh man, ain't nothing changing, man. Nothing's going to change for the next 4 years unless this dude, somebody predicted this cat is gonna get impeached. I keep telling y'all, man, I believe anything. The next 4 years, if I hadn't already been the see it to believe it cat, I damn sure am now. This dude right here lying to everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna build a wall. No, I'm not gonna build a wall. I'm gonna repeal Obamacare. No, I'm not. Like, come on, man. The reality is this dude don't know what the hell he doing. All he gonna do is put a bunch of racist, like xenophobic, like misogynist dudes around him, and women who are too scared to stand up for what's right, who are probably also racist, to tell him what to do. That's what the next 4 years is gonna be. Grow up, get ready to live with it. You know what I mean? Get ready to live with it. I thought I was going to be able to do something with this Kanye situation today, with the question of the day that's brought to us by sportsnewsandbrews.com, but I totally gaffed on it. It was supposed to be like, what do you think a rant from Kanye would be if he was like ranting about Thanksgiving dinner? And it kind of fell flat. A couple people answered on the old Facebook, and I forgot to get the answers. Today has just been a real crazy, stupid, retarded day. You can't even say that no more, can you? You can't call stuff retarded because they call it the R word. 2016, man. Everything is illegal. Everything hurts people's feelings. What else do I have here? Let me give you guys the scores real quick from yesterday if you didn't catch up with everything that's going on in the world of the National Football League. I'll give you those scores, give you the NBA schedule for the night, and I'll get up out of here. Maybe I'll give them to you. What's going on in fantasy football as well, because I think I'm winning this weekend. And as I was reminded by Renee, apparently that I'm not in first place or whatever. But, yeah, we still got a marathon to run. All right, so this is not happening. Apparently, they don't want me to know the NFL scores. So let me give you the NBA schedules. The Suns are already taking on the Wizards right now. Oh, God, that's a bad game. The Grizzlies and the Hornets. Hornets doing well this year. The Rockets and the Pistons. You get to see James Harden get busy. I got to get me an NBA League Pass thing, man. I've been kind of wrestling back and forth with it because I usually don't get it. But I want to watch more basketball this year. I want to watch like more teams this year than I probably have wanted to in so long because of the star power right now. The Celtics, Al Horford's back. They're taking on that young upstart Timberwolves team at home. That's going on right now. Also, Warriors and the Pacers going on right now. Paul George, Jeff Teague. Of course, that whole situation in Golden State. The Heat got that upstart 70s. The 76ers just beat the hell out of somebody, didn't they? Like, good for them, man. Getting a couple of wins early in the season. Last year, they didn't get the first win till it was like who's going – are the Warriors going to lose first or the Sixers going to win first? And I think the Warriors beat them by a mile. The Magic and the Bucks, that nice young Bucks team. Magic doing all right too. I'm sorry. I think I got hosed out of a damn touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins. Damn referees, man. Damn it, man. And then this game going on, the Mavericks and the Spurs, and later on you got the Raptors, DeMar DeRozan. I think he's the league's leading scorer still. I call him mid-range shouty, going against that Clippers team who got the best record in the NBA, so that should be a good one. Is that on TV tonight? See, that's why I need to get the league pass in my life, straight up. Let's see if this NFL schedule's working. If not, I'm going to get the hell out of here, man. I'm not going to waste no more of y'all time, man. Got through Charlie Strong, got through this. Oh, here's something that you guys should be checking for on Viceland. If you guys ain't hit the Viceland, get to that, man. A show called Balls Deep. It's not porn. It just sounds like it. It's not porn. This little white dude that goes around the country and kind of just lives life with people who kind of are in the fray of life. You know what I mean? he went and found like the Trump supporters, the people, those white ghosts I was talking about the other day. He went and found them, and these guys who were never involved in politics and heard Trump and was like, this white boy said Trump is the only person that can save America. Verbatim, that's what he said. But if you're a person that can look at something and try to get some perspective out of it without just looking at the TV like, oh man, he's an asshole, he's racist and all that kind of stuff, check it out, man. It was kind of insight. It was funny because I'm a silly dude, but it was funny and it was like informative to see, sometimes like kind of get a glimpse beyond the curtain at what some of these crazy ass white folks is talking about nowadays, because there's no way for me to know. Yeah, it's wild. So Viceland is called, it's the 11/3 episode called Trump Supporters, I think it's called. Balls Deep is the name of the show. So check it out. As far as I go, I'm about to get to work, man. It's a short week. All the radio stations closing early this week for the holiday, so everybody need their stuff from me. So I'm gonna get off of here and get to work. Appreciate everybody for checking out the show. Appreciate my guest, of course, man. Ben Troupe, as always. Appreciate you, homie. Appreciate the homie, Cato June, for stopping in, man, and giving us some insight on a lot of things, man. Cato talked about weed. He talked about being a black coach, recruiting. If you got like high school kids, he talked about recruiting and what it takes to go to a school like Howard. Talked about activism. Like I sit here and think back, that was a pretty full damn interview. It didn't seem like it until I just like replayed it in my mind. Yeah, that's a pretty full interview. It had a little bit of everything in it. So shout out to Cato June, man, former Pro Bowl, All-Pro linebacker, man, Super Bowl champ. Shout out to him for stopping through and giving and showing the show some love, man. Yeah, I don't know. I am no those. I don't know, man. I don't know about Wednesday yet. We looking for a fantasy dude or a fantasy young lady, as it may be right now. And if that comes through, I'll definitely do a show on Wednesday. You know what I mean? I definitely do a show on Wednesday because I want you guys to get your fantasy football information. So we're going to work tirelessly. Not tirelessly. We're going to work on getting a fantasy person to give us some knowledge on Wednesday or whatnot. But like I said, I'm out, man. Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. Tune in, OneMicWithBigMike.com, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, YouTube. Subscribe, follow, all those things, man. That's where you can find the archived episodes, the on-demand episodes. You can also get the video on my Facebook page, One Mic with Big Mike, or go to YouTube, One Mic with Big Mike on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. If I don't talk to you guys on Wednesday, enjoy the time with your family. Just understand, man, you don't need no made-up, stupid-ass, racist holiday, man, to enjoy your people, man, and show appreciation. That's coming from me. Till next time, you guys be safe, and I'll holler at y'all.